Welcome to the Carbon Lab YouTube channel. I am Aarti Gupta, a research scholar in Chemical Engineering Department, IIT Hyderabad. Through this short video, I am presenting our recently published article in the Journal of Micro and Nano Lattice. This article is titled Pyramid Texture Silicon 100 Surface with Low Reflectivity in CMOS Compatible Solution. Starting with the brief introduction of the work. Wet etching of silicon 100 in alkaline solutions results in pyramid or hillocks bounded by 4111 planes. Such geometrical structures work as excellent light trapping structures and may potentially help in the efficiency increment of a solar cell. Here, optimization of etching concentration, etching time, and etching temperature is needed in order to produce a uniform and dense surface morphology. As can be seen in the schematic, in the case of less dense and non-uniform surface morphology, incident light hitting at one structure may not get any nearby structure to take the second bounce, and it may go back to the atmosphere. However, in the case of dense and uniform surface morphology, incident light easily takes multiple internal reflections before going back to the atmosphere. Figure 1 shows the constant temperature oil bath system which was used for wet etching. It contains a reflex condenser, thermometer, Teflon ball and a sample holder. The reflex condenser is made up of thick double-layer glass, the purpose of which is to keep the etching concentration constant throughout the experiment. Figure 2 shows the steps involved in the wet etching process. Silicon samples were first cleaned in piranha bath followed by 1% HF cleaning and then rinsed with DI water. Samples were then used for the etching. Etched samples were then cleaned and dried and finally used for the characterization. These are the etching parameters. We have used silicon 100 substrate. Etching concentration was fixed at 0.58% TMAH, where etching temperature was varied from 80 to 95 degrees C in a step of 5 degrees C. Etching was done for 40 minutes of etching time and samples were collected at every 5 minutes of interval. First, total reflectance was measured to characterize the reflection from the texture surface using integrating sphere module of UV visible spectrophotometer. Figure 3 shows the reflectance spectra of the sample aged at various temperatures for different times, where Figure 4 shows the corresponding solar weighted reflectance values. An increase in etching temperature from 80 to 85 degrees C results in a decrease in reflectance value, where the lowest reflectance of 10% was achieved at 25 minutes of etching time. It may be because of favorable surface morphology in terms of structures, uniformity and density. However, a further increase in etching temperature from 85 to 90 and then to 95 degrees C results in an increase in reflectance values. Etched samples were further characterized by a 3D laser microscope and scanning electron microscope to investigate the surface roughness, uniformity and density of the micropyramidal structures so as to correlate with the optical values. The surface roughness study was done using a 3D laser microscope. Figure 5 shows RMS surface roughness variation with respect to etching temperature and time. An increase in surface roughness values was observed by an increase in etching concentration and time. The highest SQ value of around 1 micrometer was obtained for the sample etched for 40 minutes at 95 degrees C. Standard deviation in SQ values was also higher for 90 and 95 degrees C in comparison to that for 80 and 85 degrees C. The higher standard deviation in SQ values indicates the variation in the size of pyramidal structures on the same sample at different locations. The same trend was also observed in surface morphology images where pyramidal structures were more uniform and dense in case of 85 degrees C etched samples compared to the other temperatures. To know more about the uniformity of pyramidal structures, quantitatively the surface area of the etched samples was measured using 3D laser scanning microscope. Figure 7 shows the surface area on the sample etched at different temperatures for 25 minutes of etching time. It was observed that the variation in surface area values in the case of 85 degrees C was very less compared to the 80, 90 and 95 degrees C. This further confirmed a uniform surface morphology at 85 degrees C compared to the other temperatures. Here it was concluded that the Higher value of surface roughness are not directly related to lower reflectance values, but uniformity and density of the pyramidal structures play an important role to minimize the reflectivity. Here is the summary of the work. In this study, the effect of etching temperature and etching time on the surface texturing of silicon 100 in a very low concentration TMAH were investigated in detail. The lowest solar-weighted reflectance of 10% was achieved in 0.58% TMAH 85 degrees C 25-minute etch sample. Here we observe that higher values of surface roughness are not directly related to lower reflectance, but uniformity and density of pyramidal structures play an important role to minimize the reflectivity. The novelty of this work is the lowest reflectance value of around 10% was achieved in very mild etching conditions, which makes this study very promising for large area surface texturing for solar cell applications. To know more about the work, please read the full article. Thank you.